Hello dear students, welcome back to PharmWise Academy. In our previous videos, we have covered the cell and its organelles half and we have come halfway. In the previous lectures, we have discussed about the cell structure and functions and we have discussed about the cell membrane and in the previous video, we have discussed about the nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum and endoplasmic reticulum of two types, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum, and after that we have discussed a little about the Golgi apparatus. Now fast forward to this video, we are going to continue this cell and its organelle topic. So let's get started. So we will be starting with the mitochondria. Now everyone know from the age of high school that mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell. Now why it is called the powerhouse of the cell? Because of the because it is the site of cellular respiration, and because of the cellular respiration happening in the mitochondria, the ATP production takes place in the mitochondria. Okay, what is ATP? It is the adenosine triphosphate, and ATP is the ATP is the energy currency of cell. Okay, ATP is the energy currency of cell. So wherever if the energy has to be given, if the energy has to be supplied, then that is supposed to be in the form of ATP. Now let's move on to anatomy of the mitochondria. Now firstly, the mitochondria is it is somewhat conical in shape, cuboidal in shape, cubical in shape, right? Okay, let it be whatever you say. It is a tubular structure, and a very amazing fact, do you know about the mitochondria? Generally, if you represent a cell, then we will show hardly 2 to 3 or maximum 5 to 10 mitochondria we can show in a representational diagram of the cell. But in actually there are 100 to 1000 number of mitochondria present per cell. Yes students, you heard it right. The 100 to 1000 mitochondria are present per cell. Okay, based upon the activity. Like interestingly, like if a muscle cell is there, okay, if a muscle cell is there, then for muscles the more energy is needed. Okay, like in athletes, in gymnastic persons, they are required with a huge amount of energy to lift those deadly objects. Okay, so therefore to meet their energy requirements, the mitochondria in the muscle cells will be increased to up to 1000, or it may be more than this also. Why? Because of the energy needed. So mitochondria is basically due to the powerhouse of the cell, the energy generation, the unique feature has been allotted to mitochondria. Therefore it is based upon the energy requirement. Next, anatomy. It is a cuboidal shape, so whichever shape you want. Next, it is covered by a outer membrane. Okay, here is the outer membrane. Outer membrane, it separates its complete physical, it is a well defined structure, and it is completely defined from the cytosol. Okay, in this outer membrane there is a inner membrane, and where is the inner membrane? Here is the inner membrane. Okay, this pinkish, what you can see now, this is the inner membrane, and in the inner membrane there are these foldings present. Okay, now you may ask, what is the need of these curves? Because it is unnecessary. No, because of these curvings the surface area of the mitochondria is increased. Do you know, if the surface area of the mitochondria is increased, then it can provide a large surface area for the cellular respiration. So more number of foldings. These foldings, firstly these foldings are called cristae. Okay, here the cristae junctions, it is given cristae junction, but this individual folding in the mitochondrial inner membrane is called cristae. So more the number of cristae, the surface area increases. Correct? Surface area increases, and if the surface area increases, the respiration also increases, right? The respiration also increases, and if the respiration increases, ATP generation also increases. So within a very tiny structure, the foldings are present to give, within a tiny structure, the more energy should be produced. See how beautifully the nature has designed our whole system. Now moving to the, from the inner membrane, we are getting into the matrix. There is present a fluid that is called the mitochondrial fluid, and the space it is called the matrix. Okay, along with that, can you see the ribosomes? Okay, these are the mitochondrial ribosomes. So some of the mitochondrial functions need the help of proteins to execute their function. The mitochondria need some proteins, and that protein requirement is made fulfilled by the help of mitochondrial ribosomes. These mitochondrial ribosome will produce as the proteins. Okay, proteins that are required by mitochondria for their function. Next, okay, we will come to ATP synthesis later. And along with the ribosomes, a circular DNA is also present. This DNA is the mitochondrial DNA. Okay, the mitochondrial DNA is present. Why the mitochondrial DNA is present? The mitochondrial DNA is present because, okay, the mitochondrial DNA is present because some of the genes and some of the genetic information, the information how and when and what amount of ATP should be produced, it is stored in the mitochondrial DNA. That information is stored in the mitochondrial DNA. Okay, from the mitochondrial DNA, if something is to happen, then from the mRNA, first the DNA is converted to mRNA, and from mRNA it goes to ribosomes, and ribosomes makes that protein, right? So the mitochondria is having internally its own structure. Okay, it is not dependent on the cell for anything. Everything what is needed for to perform its function, it is everything given in the mitochondrial matrix itself. The DNA is present, and the space between the outer membrane and inner membrane is called intermembrane space. Okay, right. Now coming to ATP synthesis, by the cellular reaction, and the respiration occurs, the liberation of energy will be taken place, and that energy has to be converted in the form of ATP, because cells or another cells where energy is required, there then energy will be accepted only in the form of ATP, right? So ATP has to synthesized. So from the energy which is liberating from the respiration reactions, that is converted to ATP in the form of ATP by the help of the enzyme ATP synthetase. Okay, is that clear, students? Is that clear? Okay, another important thing, cytochrome C. Okay, cytochrome C is one of the important chemical substance present in the matrix of the mitochondria, which is helpful for the cellular aerobic respiration. Now what is this aerobic respiration? Cellular means the respiration occurring at the cellular level. Now what is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration? The respiration which is occurring in the presence of oxygen. What do you mean by respiration? Respiration is the breaking down of glucose. Basically it's not the intake of oxygen, it is the breaking down of glucose. If the breaking down of glucose is happening in the presence of oxygen, then it is called the aerobic respiration. So the glucose is broken down by a chemical substance called as the cytochrome C, which is present in the mitochondrial matrix. Okay, is that clear, students? Is that clear? And also cytochrome C, it activates the protein digesting enzymes in our body, in our cell. Okay, it activates the protein digesting enzymes. Next, okay, is the all things clear? And these are the some of the granules which are present to support the mitochondria and the function of mitochondria. Okay, now let me clear this. Okay, okay, now another function of mitochondria, that is Up to now you are clear, right? Now another function of mitochondria, the mitochondria in that mitochondrial matrix, there exist some of the chemicals which are responsible for the apoptosis. Okay, what do you mean by apoptosis? Apoptosis means the self killing of cell, suicide, you can say the suicide of the cell. Okay, so apoptosis is facilitated by the mitochondrial matrix, by chemical substances which are present in the mitochondrial matrix. Okay, there are some genetically, there is a genetically pre-stored data. Okay, actually the process of apoptosis is the receptor is present, and when a specific chemical substance or ligand bind to the receptor gives the message to the mitochondria that now the cell has been ruptured very badly, now it has to go under the apoptosis or self killing. Then mitochondria will rupture its membranes and these special chemical substances will be released out into the cell which digests the whole cell. Okay, basically the lysosome, okay, we will study further. Lysosome is the main responsible for the suicide bag, it is called as the suicide bag, but also the mitochondria helps in the apoptosis, right? Is that clear, students? Is that clear? So moving on, lysosomes, membrane bound vesicles containing digestive enzymes. Vacuoles, the vacuoles basically it contains a set of enzymes. Okay, a large set of enzymes is present in the lysosomes. Okay, a numerous number of enzymes are present in the lysosome, which may be phospholipidases. Okay, phospholipidases, okay, which digests the phospholipid molecule which is present in the cell membrane, or hydrolase, okay, hydrolase, etc., etc. There are numerous cell digesting enzymes present in the lysosome, but these all enzymes are active when the pH of the lysosome is less than 5. Okay, it is the these enzymes work under the acidic condition. The pH of the cell, basically the pH of the cell is neutral, it is 7.0, but the lysosome, it has the well defined its cell wall. Because of the presence of that cell wall, the internal pH can be maintained at or below the 5. Therefore the acidic if the acidic medium is maintained, then the enzymes which are responsible for the cell digestion, that will be active, otherwise they will be inactive. Now the main function is break down cellular wastes, worn out organelles and foreign particles. Okay, the lysosomes also helps in the organelles which are old, very old, and they are now no more in the condition of working and generating means they cannot perform function anymore like they were performing earlier. Like old organelles and worn out organelles, damaged organelles, and if any foreign particle entered into the cell, then those are digested by the lysosome. Okay, and lysosome, the process by which the organelles or foreign particles it is digesting, that process is known as autophagy. Autophagy means self-eating. Phagy means eating its own. Autophagy means eating its own organelles, it is eating automatically. Therefore, it is called as the autophagy. Next, a beautiful example of lysosome, where the lysosome actually, we don't know, there are some cases in the apoptosis where you study the lysosomal action, but I can give you a familiar example. Okay, the lysosome will act only inside the cell. Okay, its action is intracellular. Okay, for example, during fertilization. Okay, during fertilization, what happens? The oocyte will be present and the sperm is present here. Okay, now when the sperm is present here, due to the presence of in the lysosome of the sperm cell, acrosomal enzyme. Okay, a special enzyme is present called the acrosomal enzyme, which due to the presence of acrosomal enzyme, when the sperm touches the when it reaches to the oocyte or egg of the egg in the female body, the acrosomal reaction here, after touching it, the acrosomal reaction takes place. Due to the acrosomal reaction, the acrosomal enzymes which are present in the lysosome of the sperm cell, it comes out and it dissolves the protective coating which is present, okay, which is present over the oocyte, and which is present over the oocyte. The protective covering is there. Okay, here it is the protective layer, right? And that protective layer is digested. It is dissolved by the acrosomal reaction due to the action of acrosomal enzymes. Okay, is that clear, students? Did you understood the example? So moving ahead, cytoskeleton. It is a network of protein filaments including microfilaments, microtubules and intermediate filaments. It provides the structural support, maintains shell shapes and facilitates cellular movement. The cytoskeleton is basically associated with the cytosol. Okay, in the cytosol only, cytosol or cytoplasm, the cytoskeleton will be present, and the cytoskeleton is microfilaments, like very minute fiber like structures or filament like structures, or you can say the microtubule like structures are present, which will help in the maintaining the structural support and maintains the cell shape. Okay, now what are the centrioles? In a majority of the cells it may be present or absent. It is a paired cylindrical structures composed of microtubules, play a role in organizing the spindle fibers during cell division. During cell division, what happens? The fibers, the spindle fibers, etc. What are they? What will be present now? That has to be attached. Okay, that is mainly coordinated by the help of centrioles. Now, next, cytoplasm. Already you have studied. Sorry, cytoplasm is a cell organelle. It is a cell organelle. It is of jelly-like consistency, right? The cytoplasm is a cell organelle which is jelly-like consistency, spread all over the cell. Within the cell, means within the cell it is spread all over, right? It is made up of various fluids, enzymes, proteins and some molecules like glucose molecules, it may be present, or sodium or potassium electrolytes may be present, that contains in the cytoplasm. It is a very easy topic. You can refer for the human anatomy and physiology, you can refer the best book, that is Tortora. Okay, Tortora is the best anatomy and physiology book for the pharmacy students. And ribosomes, you very well know ribosomes. Okay, right? In ribosomes, 70S and 80S centers are present. These are responsible mainly for protein synthesis, and they are also innumerable in number. They are present many in a cell. So this is the basic idea. Now we are winding up the cell and its organelles, and in the next video we can discuss about the cell junctions. Okay, so this much for today's class, students. We'll meet in the next class.